Hi everybody, this is Blossom from Tales Unfold, and today I have a video for you that has been requested, and it is about balancing the elements within ourselves. And also I add a little bit of aligning the three souls. So what is that all about? Let's see. So before we begin, I do a little bit of housekeeping. So first of all, I haven't been in front of a camera for about 4 months. You might not notice that because I have my regular schedule. But yeah, so bear with me, it's weird. As soon as you're a bit off, then it becomes very weird to talk again to that lens. Another thing is that in case you don't get my newsletter, I have a lot of new tarot spreads on my homepage, so new tarot readings for you in case you are interested in that. So you can go and have a look at that if you like, if you are interested in getting a reading or just are curious about it, you know, have a look. Now, coming to the actual topic of this video. So somebody asked me if I can make a video about this, and it's been a little while. I'm sorry about that, I was away and then life gets in the way. In the video about protecting and cleansing your own energy field, I talked about that I don't, on a personal basis, I don't use the chakra system, but an elemental system. But I didn't go in much detail because the video otherwise would get too long and somebody was curious about it. So the elements, the 4 elements are often talked about in the magical arts, in healing modalities, in witchcraft. Why is that the magical arts, right? But also in overall well-being, we talk a lot about it. So fire, air, water and earth. But how does that look within ourselves, within our own energetic field? For me, it is a very important part to work with. I am more leaning towards the fairy witchcraft path, the pagan path. So the elements have always been a very essential part, more so than the chakra system in my case. And so I have the natural tendency to work with that much more. How do we even know if the elements within our energetic field might be a little bit unbalanced, either overactive or blocked? It's not really blocked, but if it's sluggish, you know, or yeah, if there is any kind of issue for the element of earth, for example, we might feel very ungrounded and we might have difficulties to stay really in the present. So many people have that. Many people do feel ungrounded. Many people have issues to stay in the present. So we're always worried about the future or the past is catching up. And so you're not really here in the present, right? That can be an indication that the whole, the element of earth is just not balanced. It's not enough. You're not grounded enough. So it's very easy to actually figure that out. Now, little disclaimer before I continue, everything I say can be that, you can blame on the elements, but there are other reasons too, right? And those are only a few indications. If the element of earth is way too strong in you, it can also show up as feeling very sluggish, just not getting a move on, just feeling really heavy and missing that air a little bit, you know, that would get you moving. That can turn up too. If the element of earth is well balanced within ourselves, we are very reliable, we are very well organized and fairly disciplined, and we also experience a sense of calmness and understand how to nourish ourselves. Now, for the element of fire, this element can bring substantial gifts of immense creative energy, that spark of inspiration, great passion, courage, bravery, and that drive to move forward. So to have the element of fire well going is a really good thing. However, if it's overactive, it can also show up as having a very short temper, or being very impulsive, and or unable to focus on things. So we go from one thing to the next, can never finish anything. The focus is really missing in all our works or whatever we do, right? If it's not enough, obviously we don't have that drive. It comes again a bit, it feels a bit like the earth element, right? When that is just too heavy, we don't get moving forward, we have no inspiration, we are being consumed even by fear. There is no courage, there's no bravery. So that is then the problem when fire is really almost non-existent, right? Now, the element of water. So if the element of water within ourselves is unbalanced, it can show up as being overly dreamy. Not that that is a bad thing, but everything in balance, right? It can also show up as being emotionally very unstable, having a lot of mood swings, feeling melancholic, or even feeling stuck, stagnant waters, right? Or it can even show up as being totally indifferent to our relationships, to our work, to our passions that once were passions. You become completely indifferent to them. If it is in balance, we are able to go with the flow. We are more adaptable. I actually don't like this whole saying with the go with the flow, but yes, it shows that we are much more adaptable. We are not so hesitant. We are not so unmovable. And we are more able to release tension in our body. We all get that. Even if we're super balanced, there will always be situations like that, but we are more able to let this go, to release it. I mean, feel it, and then in some form or another, we have to get rid of it, right? And we will also be able to show compassion to our human companions, to our animal companions, to our spirit companions, whatever you like. There will be much more of a compassion. We can show empathy for other beings, and many even lose that. So it is also a very important element to balance. Then the last element, last but not least, my favorite, element of air. If the air element is in balance within ourselves, we can express ourselves clearly, we can communicate clearly, and we can think clearly. Not everything is all over the place, right? And also we will be very open to new ideas. We will not be in that stubborn mode. Yeah, no, that's how it's always done, so we are open to new ideas, take it into consideration, and we have the mental clarity to dissect it, right? To really see what fits, what doesn't, what makes sense, what doesn't. If the element of air is unbalanced, it can show up as being constantly worried over things that might not be worth it. And as I said already, it can also manifest in stubbornness and having a bit of communication issues, or a lot of it. Now, these associations are by no means exhaustive. It just gives you a little bit of an idea to feel within yourself. Can you already, by just listening to this, see, oh, okay, I see that might be something where there is an unbalance within myself. There are many other things, but let's keep it a bit concise, the whole thing. Now, to bring the 4 elements into alignment, I can offer you the free guided journeys on my YouTube channel, and I will link that below. That is all about my free guided meditations that you can find on YouTube. So I have the 4 elements in there. They are actually part of my fairy course. You can, of course, do these guided journeys without doing the fairy course. However, if you do want to have a look at it, because in the fairy course I talk a lot about the elements, and each element has a lot of exercises how you can connect with it more deeply, and how to balance it. And so there will be a lot of different ideas. So maybe for that reason alone, the fairy course is interesting for you. It is free, so you can have a look. Just check out the elements if that is what interests you. Now, but there is also another way to bring these elements a bit, but to bring more balance to it. I will share here this exercise with you. That's why I actually made this video, to share this exercise. But I also would like to mention a bit, what is it about, you know, before I just give you an exercise, do whatever I say, but, you know, there must be a bit of a connection behind it, right? Now, the exercise I'm going to share with you very soon has also the element of the 3 souls. Many traditions follow the idea of that we are having 3 souls within ourselves, and that one part of the soul is dwelling in the middle world, here in our presence, in our reality here. One in the upper world, and one part is in the underworld. Now, there are also traditions that have many souls, much more than 3. There are traditions who just recognize one soul, whatever it is. I think many of my viewers, leave in a comment if you don't agree, leave a comment if you don't agree. But I think many of my viewers understand the concept with upper, under and middle world. I think that is probably not so new to you, so I'm not gonna linger too much on that. But the exercise that I share with you also brings those 3 souls into alignment. I am looking at a beautiful birdie outside sitting in my elder tree. I'm sorry, I do get distracted by that. Now, but before we start this exercise, I want you to establish what parts of your body are associated with which element. And I think for the first part, we're gonna tackle the feet and the legs. Probably everybody will say, yeah, Earth. Sure, and that's what it is. So Earth. I don't think we have to discuss that. It makes sense. That's where we would associate the element of Earth. But now, when we come to the lower belly and the genitals, and there might be differences. And so for some traditions, some people, they will associate this, they will associate this with the element of water, and others with fire. Now, I changed my mind about that over the years a few times, and what I can see lately is that it is not so much a phase of, you know, months or years going with one element, but it depends on where in my cycle I am. It actually, you know, it does make a difference. That may probably people will tell you, and it's probably like that, I don't know, that you have to stick with it. But I am a being in flowing motion, so, and I do have a cycle. And so, yeah, so I go with that. So it changes that. So we have earth, then we have water or fire. Then for the chest area, the heart area, again, water or fire, right? Depends. You have to come up with your own ideas about that, I would say. Whatever makes the most sense to you. And then we have the element of air in the head and shoulders. That is also usually very clear. The way you can imagine that is spheres around these areas, right? That extend your body, that reaches out through your entire energetic field, right? And you have those spheres and they overlap. We'll put an image up here. After you have established where in your body you see the elements represented, you can also ponder about their qualities and what that means to you. So we have the element of earth, which is cool and dry and dense and heavy. Then we have the element of fire, which is hot and dry and expansive. Then we have the element of water, which is cool and wet and fluid. And then we have the element of air, which is hot and wet and rapid movement. Just a very brief description of their qualities. And how does that play a role in your body, in your physical body, in your energetic body, in your spiritual experience, in your very mundane experience of the world? Ponder about that. And then we are coming to the exercise. So once you have established all that, we're actually moving into the exercise. Now, for this exercise, you can either sit or stand on the floor. It also does ideally, you would do this exercise outside, but that's not always possible. I know it's cold, it's wet. Maybe you don't have really an option to do that. So inside is fine. It's also fine if you do that higher up and not on ground level. So you can do that upstairs in your house or wherever, high in your apartment, you know. Doesn't matter, it works. But see that you do this exercise with something on the floor. So either your buttocks is on the floor or your feet are on the floor. And try to keep your back fairly straight as possible for you. You can also lean against something. So if you want to do that in a chair, then you can also lean against that. So just keep your spine upright. And you start this exercise by taking a few deep cleansing breaths. Now, this is not necessarily a part of the exercise, but that is something that I like to do when your thoughts are really racing. You can imagine how those thoughts are. I think I already mentioned that, or I will mention that in a future video for you, a past video for me. So you can imagine having a lot of tendrils going out of your head, right? And those are your thoughts. And you light up in your center, wherever that is for you, you light up this glowing light and you pluck those thoughts out, bring it into your center and let them burn out there. Because those thoughts you don't need. If they are that important, they will come up anyway. They also come up again if they are not important, so you don't have to worry about them. Just for the moment, we don't need them, so we kind of pluck them out of the head and burn them. That's just one little idea if you are struggling with racing thoughts. If you do not struggle with this, you don't need that, then take a few deep cleansing breaths and then become aware of the 7 directions. I love always, also in my guided meditations, I often include this, become aware of the 7 directions, because it grounds you in the here and now, and it's centering, right? It centers you. So this is the 4 cardinal directions of east, south, west and north. And then above you, below you, and you in the center, getting a feeling for you within this space, right? What is all around you and how and where you are in regards of those 7 directions or the other 6 directions. If you like, you can also already see that always depends on your associations, probably your tradition, where you live in the world. For me, east, sunrise, and I will see a meadow in springtime with fresh morning dew. Then the south, I will see, it will be the hot sun at noon in a desert. Then we have the west, where it will be a sunset over the ocean with cliffs in the foreground and a lighthouse somewhere in the back. And then north, I will have that old, it's nighttime, that old ancient forest, and in the background, high mountains. You don't have to imagine that, just if you're already used to that, so maybe you want to add another layer, but you absolutely don't have to. It's fine if you just think about the 4 directions of the 2 that come from the side and are upholding you, the one from the back that flows through you, and the one from the front that flows to you. And then above, below and center. That's all you really need. So take a deep breath. Burn the tendrils, become aware of the 7 directions. And then you focus on the point of contact, wherever you are sitting. If your feet are touching the earth, if your buttocks is touching the earth, become aware of that point of contact. So, and as I already said, if you're inside, remember that the building is also in contact with the earth. Your hands are at your side, palms facing down, and if you are sitting, they may touch the ground. Now visualize either a ball of light or a human-shaped source of light just below the ground or floor where your body makes contact. And you can also visualize a snake growing from your tail into the earth, roots reaching down, or even a flame. Either way, the upper surface of this energy source touches your point of contact. The lower surface of whatever you visualize there emanates a beam of light that descends deep into the earth. As this beam, or roots or snake, reaches deeper, it forms several more strands of light until it finds a way into the heart of the earth. Now feel the source of light just beneath you. Perhaps you experience sensations of heat, or you feel vibrations coming from it, or anything else. Pull the energy from the earth up into the source of energy just below you. You can now also send your own energy into it. Continue to breathe deep and steady. Raise now the light from the source of energy just below you. Slowly bring your hands up as you raise the energy through your feet, legs and thighs. Imagine a sphere around this part of your body, as already mentioned, and your energy field that you now fill up with this light or energy. You are now connected with the element of earth, the substance of your body. You can also imagine the qualities of the element of earth. So a cool, dry sensation, dense and heavy, and bring that into this sphere. Rise your hands up to your hips and waist now. Also here, visualize a sphere forming around this part and fill it with the energy from below. This connects you with the element of water or fire, depending on your choice. Again, remember the qualities and bring that into the sphere as well. So for fire, that would be hot, dry and expansive, or for water, it would be cool, wet and fluid. Now bring your hands up to your heart center and let your palms face upward. This activates the element of fire or water, again, depending on your choice. Fill up this sphere surrounding you, again, depending on the qualities. Fill it up with the energy from the earth and the energy of that element. Move your hands further up to your throat and above your head with the palms still facing upwards. Raise the energy within the sphere to the top of your head, but no further. You have reached the element of air, connected to thought and free expression. Hold it there for a breath, and you can fill up the sphere again with the earth energy that you are pulling up, and also with the qualities of the air element of hot, wet and rapid movement. And you hold it there for a breath. Now visualize a beam of light, a snake, tree branches or a flame growing out of your head and reaching high into the sky. And you reach so high that you eventually reach the edge of the universe. Draw in the energy of the stars, the source of all things, and bring it down to the last created sphere around your head. Move one hand past your head with the palm facing downwards. Continue your way past your shoulders, heart, belly and legs until you reach your feet and let the light of the stars illuminate the other three spheres. So you repeat the same action again, just in reverse now. Let this source of energy of the stars gather below you just for a moment. Slowly and with control, bring now your two hands to your heart center. Let the light from above and the light from below merge with your own light. So the two lights that are now in juxtaposition are now brought to the heart and let it merge with your own light within. Set the intention of keeping as much energy as needed and spread it throughout your entire body and energy field. After another deep breath, release the excess energy. Ask that the energy is set free and sent to wherever harmony, healing and balance is needed. So when you do this exercise on a regular basis, it will not only balance the elements, but it also will strengthen that connection to the land below and to the realms up there, and to have that all in balance, not just this or that. And you will also become more aware of, especially if you let your energy drop into the land or into that light sphere just below you, how your own energy impacts the land. So you might become more aware of, or more careful, or more not necessarily careful, but just more aware of what you put actually in there. Now, when you let this light expand, right, when you merge the three lights and you let it move through these energies, you let it move through you, it also is a super cleanser for your own energetic field. And it also is able to cut energetic cords, and just your whole energetic body will be cleared and cleansed. And once you get the hang of this exercise, it only takes a couple of minutes, really. I can probably do it in 2 or 3 minutes. Maybe at the beginning you need a bit longer, maybe when you feel more sluggish than usual or anything like that, or more in need of clearing and cleansing, in more need of balancing. You can do this exercise as long as you want. But it's a great thing to do daily because, yeah, like I said, it might just take you 2 or 3 minutes and you have all the balancing, the connection of the 3 souls plus the cleansing, so it's an all-in-one. And it works, right? It's not because it's simple, because in its way it's simple, because the movement will be simple, right? But that doesn't mean that it's not effective. I love doing this exercise and I hope it helped you. For some this might be new, for others this is absolutely not new. I did not invent any of this. I think just the combination is more something that I haven't come across, but the parts in itself. So I know, for example, the raising of the light below is an exercise by R.J. Stewart, but he just focuses on the underworld, bringing it up. And I did that for years until I actually introduced the above too, and then really also focusing on those spheres and bringing in the elemental qualities into those spheres. If you want to read this up, which might be easier, I don't know, for me it's easier to read things than to listen to somebody, I will have a blog post for that. I also, when you get a house healing or any kind of healing modality from me, I usually send out a PDF with this exercise. So, I hope this was helpful. As always, I hope your world is kind. Much love and